What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The reports seem to surface more and more about LeBron James leaving the Lakers. You know, it really all started to me with former NBA player Charles Oakley saying on a show, I believe All the Smoke, saying that he thinks LeBron James could or would leave the Lakers after this season. And it's really, really funny to me how, whether that's a thought of his or whether he's know people that LeBron knows or have some type of inside scoop on that, who knows? But at the same time, it's really, really not too far-fetched, because when you think about LeBron's history, whether a team has won or lost or how good a team was doing, he's been known, or he has left teams in their peak. And for one situation, I remember he left Cleveland the first time, and the first time they weren't that good of a team. I'll give him that, because he just didn't see them he didn't see them winning a championship anytime soon, and he didn't see them going anywhere. So he left there and took his talents to Miami, and Miami had a juggernaut team. I mean, if it wasn't for Miami, I definitely think that the Chicago Bulls back then with Derrick Rose would have won a championship, or at least would have made it to a finals, if it wasn't for, the Miami Heat, because they were just, that good of a team. You had LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh in their prime. That was pretty much an unbeatable team, and it was a hard task for any team to try to go up against them, because they just didn't have enough firepower. And LeBron in his younger days was definitely the best player in the league. Only other player in the league at that time was better than him before he got a little bit out of his prime was Kobe Bryant, of course. But when you look at it in totality, it's not too far-fetched what Charles Oakley was saying, because LeBron left Miami when they were at their peak. I mean, if he would have stayed in Miami, I'd say they would at least won one more championship, maybe went to like 2 more finals at least. Hell, they might have went to 3 more finals. Who knows? But this is my point. He's been known to do stuff like that. And then he went back to Cleveland and, got a championship for Cleveland. And then, he comes out here to Lakerland and, he got a championship here as well. So, I mean, it's not too far-fetched what Charles Oakley is saying. The only thing is, my only take on it really is, hypothetically, and this is very, very hypothetical, if Bronny James Jr., if he goes to a team like, let's say he gets drafted to a team like Cleveland, I can possibly see LeBron James, maybe going there to play with Cleveland just to finish his career there, maybe, possibly, or, go play with his son on a team, maybe be the first father-son on an NBA team and end his career that way. Because, I mean, he's definitely expressed before that, he wants LeBron to make it to the NBA, and he wants to be the first father-son combination to be in the NBA at the same time. So I'm not saying Junior is going to go, Bronny's going to go to Cleveland. I'm just saying wherever, if he makes it to the NBA and wherever he goes, I can see LeBron James possibly wanting to go on that team and play with his son maybe one season and live out his dream, because I think that's something that LeBron really has predicated a lot over these last couple, or at least this past year, that he wants to accomplish. He wants to be in the NBA while his son is in the NBA. Now, he personally didn't say anything about being on the same team, but hey, that's definitely very possible. I mean, I wouldn't even blame him, because if it was me, I probably want to do the same thing. But at the same time, it's all about winning too. So I would definitely try to find a way to get him on the Lakers. But I mean, that's definitely the notion, and that's definitely what LeBron James is looking into. Now, I would be very shocked, to be honest with you, if LeBron left the Lakers, because you're leaving an organization that has always been known for winning. Despite this year of them having all the issues that they're having, they still have an opportunity to rectify this year when LeBron comes back and be healthy. As long as Anthony Davis is going to play to a top 5 caliber. these last several games, Anthony Davis has been playing really good. Russell Westbrook has been turned down, or he's kind of turned down a little bit on the turnovers. He hasn't been committing too many turnovers lately. So, I mean, that's definitely a good sign. But, it's definitely not too far-fetched to, hear what Charles Oakley was saying about, LeBron leaving. I just would find it really, really crazy, just my personal opinion, for him to do that, because I just don't see the point of leaving Lakerland. Now I hear some analysts, like Shannon Sharp and them say things like, here in Lakerland, he'll never be looked at as Kobe Bryant. Of course, he's never going to be looked at as Kobe Bryant. Kobe is Kobe. God rest his soul. The greatest Laker ever, greatest player ever to me. That's just my opinion. But, he's never going to be looked at as Kobe. He's never going to be revered as a player like that, because Kobe won 5 championships here. Kobe has started playing basketball here when he was 17, 18 years old. So it's like we knew him from a child and growing up to be, a grown man. We knew him from his early stages all the way until he retired. And of course, LeBron's never going to get that type of, likeness from LA. I mean, he did help deliver a championship. You got to give him credit for that. But, Kobe delivered 5 of them in this one spot and showed dedication, never left, never abandoned the city, and, went through the trenches, went through the ups and downs. And that's something that will never be, taken away. And of course, I'm not saying LeBron wants to be Kobe Bryant or anything like that, because he can't get that, because what Kobe is here is like what LeBron is in Cleveland. You see what I'm saying? Like, can't nobody come to Cleveland and just take that crown as in like, oh, I won 1 championship for Cleveland, I'm the best player that's ever came out of here, or, Cleveland's my town now. No, it's not going to be that way until you eclipse all the things that LeBron James has done, just for that city, the organization, himself there, and winning them a championship, their only championship, and doing it in the fashion that he did, coming back from down 3-1 against the Warriors, with the help of Kyrie, was very, very remarkable. And I think he was the first player, I think, in the NBA or in sports to actually win a championship for his home team, in the biggest stage of basketball, which is the finals, the team that he grew up idolizing and where he was born at. So, I mean, that's very, very impressive. And a lot of people definitely would say that's what made him the GOAT. But if you want to look at that and take that out of the situation and say maybe he wants to retire in Cleveland so they can retire his jersey like where he was born at, where it all started at, in the Cleveland arena out there, I can definitely see that as well. But like I said, in all essence, I just don't see him leaving the Lakers. I mean, he moved to the Lake. I mean, he came to the Lakers. He moved up here. He said he wanted to raise his kids in LA. That's when he did the movie Space Jam and everything like that. I just can't really see him leaving LA for any other spot. I mean, it just really doesn't make sense. I mean, not to me, but hey, like I said, LeBron James has left good situations before. And, whether the situation was good or bad, I've seen him leave situations. So, and, the fact that LeBron is already well established, he's already who he's going to be. He's already cemented his legacy pretty much. I mean, if he could win one more championship, that would be great. But I mean, I don't know if he'll ever be looked at as better than Michael Jordan. And I feel like that's a part of the reason why he's still playing as well. So he can try to win one more championship and at least say, I got all the other stats along with 5 championships, and I got the most career points of all time, which that'll definitely open a lot of people's eyes and say he might be the GOAT instead of Michael Jordan. Me personally, I don't think he's ever going to get that. I think Mike is always going to be the greatest player of all time. I mean, if you ask me, the man is just, if you look at his highlights, they never get old. And if you watched if you watched him play any back in the day, you would know this dude was the real deal. And when I think about it, I mean, just on top of that, I mean, heck, I mean, Michael Jordan's still selling sneakers like he's playing. I mean, what basketball player is selling shoes the way Michael Jordan does and hasn't played in like 20, 30 years? I mean, that in like 20 something years, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So Mike is always going to be the GOAT in regards to, he just accomplished everything. And on top of that, like I said, he never lost NBA finals. And he quit basketball and came back and won 3 more finals. And it's just, he just made it look a lot easier than what it probably even was, even though it was a journey. But, LeBron definitely has a case. So in saying that, I definitely think LeBron will want to stay with the Lakers because that's the team that gives LeBron the better chance of winning another championship. If LeBron goes anywhere else, of course they'll be a contender. But when you look at the Lakers, they got they got assets, they got money. LA is LA, what I'm saying? They can find a way to get him some good players or something like that. Not a lot of teams have assets like that. Not a lot of teams can do that. So, why put yourself in a position where you're potentially not going to go out on your throne and win and walk into paradise with another championship? That's just the way I personally see it. But who knows? It's very, 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 very awkward scenario because we've seen LeBron do something like this before and really no reasoning behind it. Because honestly, I never would have thought he left D Wade in Miami. I really thought he was just going to damn near finish his career out there. The only thing I thought maybe back then, if he ever left Miami, was go back to Cleveland for like maybe, his last year or something like that, just to finish out his career where it all started. That's the only thing I thought at that time. And honestly, that's the only thing I'm thinking now. That's the only scenario I could see him leaving the Lakers. But even still, it's no need to even do that to me, because going back to Cleveland for 1 year would be fine, but it would be a waste to a degree because you want to try to at least get one more ring. And the only way to get one more ring is one or two more rings is to stay with the Lakers. Now, of course, the Lakers can possibly win it this year still, and I don't want to rule that out, but the chances are really tough, not unless they make a better trade or unless they really, really figure out a way to put this thing together. And then, it would be, a possibility they can win a championship. But even looking at him playing the way he's playing now, is he going to have enough gas to go next year, another season, and try to, play with the energy and everything he's playing with now? Because you're looking at him every night in year 17, 18, and he's playing like he was in his 20s because the Lakers just aren't that good. Is he going to keep expending a lot of energy just to keep this team afloat, just so they can try to go into the playoffs and make a run for a championship? Possibly, but there is a possibility he might be mentally tired. And when a guy is mentally tired, you never know what decision he's going to make. So I personally think he's not going to leave the Lakers, but I definitely don't want to rule anything out when it comes to that because of his history and us seeing him do something like that before, leaving a good situation or a potential situation of winning a championship. But you got to definitely leave the door open and be optimistic about this. But as I said before, I can't personally see him leaving the Lakers for any other team, even though he can't never be Kobe Bryant, but he is LeBron James. And if he delivers at least one more championship to LA, he can honestly say, career complete. Everything is complete. He didn't leave anything incomplete. He left nothing short, and he did everything he was supposed to do in his career, and plus more. Because the expectations were high for him coming into the league, and he lived up to the hype. He really, truly did. So, you have to give him that credit and everything like that. But I'd be shocked if he left the Lakers. I guess I shouldn't say shocked, but I would say this. If he left the Lakers, it would be a wow moment for for me in a way of speaking, because like I said, what other team gives you a better chance to win that's out there now, unless you just put all these good pieces around LeBron? But LeBron is not in rebuild mode. He's a lot older. So putting all these pieces around a player that's got maybe 1 or 2 years left on his NBA career is a waste of time for other teams to do. So in my mind, stay where you are, try to get another championship, see if you can squeeze one out within the next 2 years. Hopefully Bronny makes it to the NBA so you can say you're the first father-son duo in the NBA, and just go ahead and retire and walk off in the sunset. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always, and hey, Khaliis out.